recently it was uncovered that Tucker Carlson made some questionable statements in radio show appearances with Bubba the Love Sponge. And in one of the clips, he used a word that really stood out. Take a look.
Stewart, we run into her all the time.
She seems awful.
Yeah, she is awful.
They're very.
She seems extremely.
I like that word out of. Oh yeah, I stepped over me. She seems. What now? Go ahead.
She just does seem a little. Yeah, I mean, you said it. I'm just agreeing with you. I don't use that word because.
Right, I'd love for Tucker Carlson tonight on MSNBC. A girl that comes across kind of.
Well, she does. I mean, I heard her. Now I'm a Brent fan, so okay, I'm stating my bias right out front here. But I heard her on with him, and I just wanted to give her the spanking she so desperately
I actually
needs.
watched.
Okay, so that was from 2006, and he's talking about Alexis Stewart, who is Martha Stewart's daughter. Now, the word that he was using is a very derogatory word that starts with the letter C that I cannot repeat on this show. But the reason why his use of that word stood out is because he had some very strong feelings in response to Samantha Bee using that same word in reference to Ivanka Trump. Take a look.
Here, for example, is deeply unfunny comedian Samantha Bee lecturing America about Ivanka Trump last night. Watch.
You know, Ivanka, that's a beautiful photo of you and your child, but let me just say, one mother to another, do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless. He listens to you. Put on something tight and low cut and tell your father to stop it.
A dumb person's political harangue masquerading as comedy. Well, Samantha Bee later apologized for that on Twitter, assuming a tweet rates as an apology, but doubtless that's just temporary. She'll likely be bragging about all of this at another award ceremony very soon.
Okay, I got to give you some additional statements that Carlson made in reference to Samantha Bee. That one word that Bee used, I don't know any man who uses that word because it is kind of one word that is actually degrading. Tucker Carlson told a radio show host Tammy Bruce, it's the thing that feminists are always telling us. That word really is.
Okay, oops. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. So that is bona fide 100% hypocrisy. So he says that's the only thing that deeply unfunny people say. Now, remember the excuse that his supporters are using. Well, Bubba the Love Sponge is a comedy show, so Tucker's just being funny or perhaps deeply unfunny. And he said people that use that word are a dumb person haranguing political commentary. You just saw it yourself, right? So, I mean, you use the word, does that make you a dumb person? I don't know, I guess we gotta tune in to find out.
100%. We don't even have to tune in. We can just base it on his facial expressions alone.
Yeah, no, so I don't know if he's gonna raise his hand tonight and say, yeah, no, I'm a dumb person who was haranguing people for political commentary, etc. And maybe he will, but my guess is no. And so, look, but it goes perfectly to overall conservative hypocrisy in this country. So whenever anybody use a bad word on the left, like impeach the mother effer that Rashida Tlaib did, they all need a safe space and they all get the vapors. Like I do declare, I've got the vapors. Someone cursed, right? And meanwhile, Donald Trump uses foul language all the time. We're principled on it. I don't care about the foul language. Some words that are pretty bad, though. I wouldn't go there, right? But when Trump curses all the time, I don't care. But like the right wing is like, yeah, when Donald Trump curses, he's awesome. Yeah, that's a real man. Rashida Tlaib cursed. Oh my God! And then here it is, right? When Samantha Bee does it, she's a dumb person. She's deeply unfunny. When Tucker does it, well, I was just having fun, calling women the C word.
Well, I think right now we're in this era, and it feels like it's never gonna end, but this era of fake controversy, right? Or fake outrage. And both sides do it, but Republicans are definitely more guilty these days because they'll carry out, the exact same thing that they're criticizing the other party of doing right after they've done it. So, Trump will be cursing and using foul language nonstop on the campaign trail, and then Republicans will simultaneously applaud him and then go off and criticize anyone on the left who does it. But I will say, look, after watching or listening to all of Tucker Carlson's questionable statements, I'm not outraged. I just feel like this is just more information that reinforces what I already knew about Tucker Carlson. This is who Tucker Carlson is. He's made questionable statements throughout his career. We've seen him, we've talked about him on this show. I mean, he thinks that the United States came up with tacos, right? Like, come on. This guy is not the smartest, and he's not the nicest, and he's not kind in any way. And this is just more info to reinforce that.
Yeah. So the last thing I'll say on that is, yeah, if Tucker owned up to it, and maybe he will at some point, doubtful, but we'll see. Depends on how much advertiser pressure there is. Let's keep it real, right? And said, look, I said Samantha Bee using that word was terrible, and I'd used it before, and I knew I'd used it before. That's my bad. Okay, well, that doesn't ameliorate it, but it goes a long way towards proving that he's semi-human. Right?
Yeah.
But if he's like, no, when I say it, it's awesome. When a liberal says it, it's terrible. And that's in essence what he does if he doesn't address it at all. Okay, then you have your answer for what kind of person Tucker Carlson is. On the go, don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.